is a presentation of the iRacing eSports Network.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome one and all to the iRacing eSports Network. We are SimSpeed TV. It's been an interesting night of racing so far here in the World Cup of iRacing. We are gearing up now for Oval Match 2. We saw Road Match 2 earlier on in the night, which saw Finland face off against Japan. Finland won convincingly in the Lotus 79 at Brands Hatch, but now the Japanese get a chance to go up against UK and Ireland, strutting their stuff around the ovals. This is the NASCAR Trucks at Michigan Speedway. My name is Reese Gardner. In the commentary box alongside me, Bo Albert. Bo, it's looking like some pretty close qualifying times out there.
Yeah, it is. Some ultra close times. And of course, we have a tie for second and third at the moment. That's just how close it is. Just millimeters around this circuit means so much when the stopwatch eventually gets stopped at the end of the start-finish straight. And we also have the top four all within a tenth as well. And the entire pack, well, the top 13 at least, all covered within a second. So, whereas we saw Joni Heikkinen pretty much in a league of his own last time in the Lotus as a Brands Hatch, there is not a single driver that's going to be able to replicate that at Michigan.
No, certainly not. Dave Walsh on pole position for this one for UK and Ireland, but Japan has really brought their A game to this one. They currently occupy second, third, fifth, sixth, and eighth, as well as 10th. So there's quite a bit of representation for those guys at the moment. Now, before we go into the race session, this format is the same, more or less, as it was in the road session. We got two 15-minute heats, one of them a complete flip of the grid. But, Bo, usually there's cautions in oval racing, not so here.
No, not at all. And of course, in NASCAR racing or oval racing, one of the most exciting parts of the racing is always green flag pit stops. And how you get yourself on a pit road, well, we're guaranteed to have that. Because like you said, no cautions. If there's a wreck, it's unfortunate, but they're going to keep the foot on the floor. And it's going to be very, very quick paced all the way to the checkered flag, which should be fantastic to watch. Because these trucks, you know, some say it's one of the lower divisions of NASCAR, which it technically is, but they're definitely not slow vehicles.
Certainly not. And of course, we should remind you all that they do have to take one pit stop in every race. So, the grid on screen as follows. Dave Walsh for UK and Ireland on pole. For Japan, it's Hiroshi Shimizu and Daisuke Yamanaka making the top three. Mark Usher in fourth. Naoya Nagai in fifth. Shigeru Ogawa in sixth. Jonathan Rex in seventh. Shuji Aratani in 8th, and the top 10 rounded out by David Grunell and Daiichi Takamori.
Kicking things off from the 6th row of the grid will be Shogo Nishiguchi, with Ryo Fujisaki joining him on that row of the grid. On the 7th row, we have Stuart Pomfrey and Christian Schalliner, so they'll be looking to work their way through the field a little bit, but not as much as our last row of the grid, which concludes with Fraser Williamson for Bushfink Racing and Ian Cornish. But anyone who gets their pit stop phase right in this race can stop on the box correctly, can slow themselves down to pit road. Absolutely anyone can win this race.
Yeah, certainly. It all comes down to the way you take that green flag pit stop, because these stock cars, they're awfully good at going fast, but absolutely horrendous at slowing down. So you've really got to time your brake application perfectly. Going out on their formation lap at the moment behind the iRacing first pace car, using the Mustang for the ovals. Another rule for this one is that you are not allowed to make passes below the yellow or white line. You see the apron down there. Not allowed to go underneath it to make a pass. So the drivers have to be careful about that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good rule as well, because we also saw, well, me and you were just watching a practice before race, and a lot of cars that did decide to go below that yellow line, it got very, very loose on them. The back end was trying to snap out a little bit, and we also saw a couple of crashes as well. So staying below that yellow line, not only does it keep things a little bit more safer, but we should get some harder, more respectable racing with having that track limits, and drivers just know what they're up against as they head into 3 and 4 before the green flag.
Yes, indeed. And Michigan is one of those ovals that has a pretty unique way of driving around it. The fastest line around here is actually a car width or so up from the bottom. So the drivers are going to have to be careful about that as well. You don't want to go too low. So Dave Walsh leading the field away here. The pace car pulls in. It's up to him now to control the field for this 15-minute race. Away he goes. The green flag flies. Away we go at Michigan. Getting up to speed very slowly. Daisuke Yamanaka going for the move on. Well, actually being passed by, sorry, Mark Usher. Coming into turn 1, and now as they reach higher and higher speeds, this bow is where the draft is going to come into play.
And Michigan is a very fast circuit. It's a little bit like a super speedway or a mini super speedway as second and third continue to scrap it out as they head into 3 and 4. Very close to between Shimizu and Mata. So Shimizu at the moment is rocking the Sonic paint job, but he is just not going to fight that move happen across the start-finish line.
Yes, indeed. We've got a bunch of guys going into the pits. 5 drivers going into the pits here at the end of the first lap. Meanwhile, Shimizu and Usher still going at it. Oh, so close between these two. Usher just trying to go for that inside line, but Shimizu is maintaining the momentum of that higher line. Very important at this track. Usher all going for the pits. Leader going for the pits. Usher going for the pits. Shimizu staying out and Usher gaining just a little bit there on Dave Walsh. But they got to remember, they are teammates, so they don't want to try and race each other too hard. It's priority number 1 for UK and Ireland to go up against the Japanese. Meanwhile, 3rd and 4th have stayed out. Yeah. Apologies, seem to be having a couple of technical issues on a couple of our ends, but race still going on as per usual. Shimizu leading as I'm joined by Jay Kennedy. Jay, you love your ovals, don't you?
I do love my oval racing. This is my element right now, as we've got another pitter. Top 4 still yet to pit, but Hubble coming out of the pit. Challen has been the big mover. He's now checking up the entire field. He started, what, 3rd last. He's up into 8th. He's making a lot of ground right now.
Yes, indeed. Doing very well here is Mr. Challoner. He is pursued by Aratani. Now, as these drivers have made their green flag pit stops, this is one thing that you can be pretty much assured of. There's a lot to gain and a lot to lose in the pits as the number 9 comes out behind these guys. That's Nishiguchi. So he's going to come out basically level with these guys. It'll be up to him to try and get in that draft as soon as he can.
Got 2 cars side by side. Fraser Williamson.
Whoa.
Tamakori. Oh, almost contact between these guys side by side through turn 4. Tamakori through. 3 cars still yet to pit, all from Team Japan, as Dave Walsh comes out ahead of Nagai after he has made his pit stop. So 3 to pit still. Walsh still the effective leader. But I think this is going to be pretty close from there back.
Yeah, definitely. The drivers are really closing up on each other here. Nagai actually falling into the clutches of the 78 and the 71. Challoner well and truly in the draft here. So this could get pretty spicy as they come around to start lap 6.
It's a good fight here, and I'm amazed how clean this has been so far as well. Normally in these sort of races, so short, 20 laps, we'd see a fair few wrecks, but knowing that there's no cautions, I think there's a little bit more to play for these guys. Also, one chance, essentially. If you get involved in a wreck, that's ruined it for your entire team.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because once again, there's no yellow flag periods, no pace car cautions. So if you make one mistake, if you have a spin, bit of a crash, then you have no chance of getting that back.
Another thing with that too is you don't want to have a crash and end up taking out your teammates who might be just behind you as well. If you're in a pack of cars knowing that there's a couple of teammates around you, you're going to be more cautious than ever. So if you take yourself out and two of your teammates, that could ruin your night and ruin any chance of progression through into the next round.
Indeed it could. Speaking of progression through the next round, Japan currently occupies the top 3 spots. They still have not pitted, though, up the front there. Nagai going side by side. Oh, goodness me.
These guys are teammates. You don't want to be fighting too hard like that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't want to be doing that too much. But they seem content to have been doing it for the last couple of laps. Meanwhile, that's a car coming out beneath them. That is Shigeru Ogawa. So he was one of the top 3.
Going to come right out in that big pack, but Challoner's been the one that's played this right, pitting on that first lap, gone from 14th to 5th. Remember, the next race they reverse grid, so it will get mixed up once more. But Ogawa's coming out behind a big busy pack right now. This is going to get quite spicy here.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm just seeing the number 18 trying to go up the inside of the 81. Of course, Ian Cornish in the 81 for UK and Ireland versus 2 Team Japan members here.
And it's the magic spot too, Reece. It's position 10 is the last scoring position. If you're in 11th, you might as well crash out and finish last. So this is pretty spicy here for the last points in this race.
Yeah, it certainly is. And who knows, depending on the composition of the top 10, it may make all of the difference here.
One car left to pit, and there's almost contact between Cornish and Ogawa there. This is getting very, very intense here. Halfway through the race pretty much, 11 laps to go. I can't see this finishing clean, especially the way these guys are going at the moment, but it's great to watch right now.
Yeah, certainly is. So now Fraser Williamson is joining Ian Cornish in this battle. Williamson getting past, or trying to get past Takamori, but he's just not able to get that momentum.
Everyone has now entered the pit lane. Dave Walsh, 3-second lead over Challoner. Shimizu is away. We'll see where he comes out. I think he's going to drop back into about 3rd or 4th, in between Challoner and Usher potentially.
Yeah, seems that way. So yeah, Dave Walsh has already well and truly gone by, but tell you what, Challoner is not gaining on Shimizu as much as I thought he would. He is going to get by him. Yes, but still, Shimizu is in a very good position here. He hasn't lost too much ground. He will be getting some draft there from Challoner. So there is a good chance that he might be able to salvage something out of this.
And I'll tell you what, just quickly trying to work out the points in my head, I think it's very, very close. If the drivers finish in their current positions, it'll be slightly in the favour of UK&I, but there won't be much in it. So this is going to be a really, really interesting fight all the way down to the end. And that last position, that magic number 10 spot, is going to be so crucial as there's almost contact between teammates.
Oh. Take it easy, boys.
Stuart Pumphrey trying to get through here to take that 10th position away.
Yeah, versus Shigeru Ogawa. Trying to take that inside line as Pumphrey, but Ogawa is able to maintain the momentum once again on that outside line. Oh, has to slot back in behind. So Pumphrey's managed to get by. But now they're going to go 3 wide. This could not end well in most circumstances.
Also seen another move too, Reece. Change for 4th and 5th in saying that. Yamanaka almost looped it around and contact with his teammate as well.
Aratani into the wall.
Oh no.
Oh, what a shame for Japan. That is going to hurt them quite a bit.
That might be race done. But Aratani there, he was doing a great job. He's going to put a lot more pressure on his teammates now, but this final spot in the top 10 is getting very, very heated right now. Pumphrey up to 9th, Williamson in 10th. This is going to get really intense. 7 laps to go.
Yes, indeed, and Ogawa and Nishiguchi are behind these guys, so their priority now is to try and work together to get by these 2 UK and Ireland peeps. Having said that, Williamson going side by side with Pomfrey here. They might just be trading places for now, trying to maintain a bit of draft, maintain that momentum, maintain the gap. 5 minutes to go in this race. Time is rapidly running out for Japan to salvage this.
So a few little mini battle packs starting to happen as we see Agawa up the inside, and he's going to get the position. So back into the top 10 goes Agawa, and also Cornish and Yamanaka also going at it as Agawa. Massive slide from him.
Yeah, this is really pushing hard at this stage in the race. Got to remember the track is quite hot as well, 42 degrees. So the longer they are out there, the slicker the track is becoming, the twitchier those trucks are. So they've got to be very careful in these latter stages. Pomfrey and Williamson maintaining those last 2 spots in the top 10. Looks to me like Nishiguchi and Ogawa, they're just not able to get up to the back of them and get that move done.
It's turning into a pretty intense fight, and the one thing too about this is there's not much time in between this and the second race. So if you're not feeling too comfortable with how your truck's behaving, you haven't got a huge amount of time to tweak it, and possibly no time at all to tweak it and try and work out what a tweak will do. So conditions are going to be really tough for the drivers for the next race if they're not happy with their truck performance in this one right now. Is back to that battle for 10th. Very intense once again.
Yes, indeed. It's getting quite heated as Pomfrey and Williamson have switched places once again. They're doing pretty well there at the moment as 8th and 7th up ahead going at it. That's David Grunnell in the number 4. He's actually a lap down. So he's going to have to let these guys go.
Well, maybe not. You might try and hold these guys up to get that secondary pack to close up, but there are rules out there around teammates blocking and the like, and that can actually result in points penalties for teams. So you've got to be a little bit careful about potentially blocking other drivers while you are a lap down. You can get penalised. There is live race control for this race. It's Takamori, big slide, and now he's going to come under pressure from Fraser Williamson.
Close him up. This has really closed up this pack. Williamson goes right on by to take 7th, and Pomfrey's going to try and follow him through, but Takamori has the outside line. He can maintain that momentum. Was that a little bit of a slide from Williamson? He's lost that run. Oh, Takamori right to the inside, threading the needle. Fantastic driving.
Great move to get that done. There wasn't much room there, but he just threaded the needle perfectly. Run a little bit high now. Williamson might come back. The front of the field, there's not a huge amount of changes going on. Marcel, stay with his pack. At the moment, Pomfrey is in 10th. Oh, so Pomfrey now the 10th position truck. Actually, we're just going to go up the field a little bit because it is on for 5th and 6th too. That guy holding on from Cornish. White flag will come out this time. What an intense fight.
Yeah, this is pretty intense. Cornish, I noticed a tiny bit of a slide behind Nagai. Of course, Nagai in the road race, he had some pretty poor luck. So he's on a bit of a redemption drive for the rest of tonight. Looks to me like he may hold him off. This battle, though, for the last 4 positions in the top 10, well and truly on.
Big slide. He's got no rears left, and Williamson's going to round him up, but he's got to watch out for that number 9 truck.
Yeah, got to be careful there.
Oh,
that's Nishiguchi. Well. 3 wide. Oh, here we go, boys. Williamson, a little bit of a slide. Oh, there he goes. Oh! Didn't collect anyone, though.
Amazing.
How lucky.
Amazing. Well done to Dave Walsh on a dominant drive. He'll start from the rear of the grid for the next one in just a couple of minutes. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the points have played out from that one, because it is going to be close. I think we've got 5 from each team inside the top 10, so that will make it fairly close when we get the points tallied in just a moment with the official results up on screen.
Yes, indeed. Dave Walsh taking the win, and Christian Challoner marching his way through the field from 14th to 2nd. Hiroshi Shimizu gives Japan a podium. And Daisuke Yamanaka, I'm very sorry, Jay. My timing's just gone. Hello, Jay. Welcome back.
My microphone back on. We got the results up on screen, so it's not the end of the world. We'll just have them up on screen for a minute because we've got no time at all. We're going to get straight into the second race right now. It's literally, when we say it's a quick turnaround, it's a very, very quick turnaround.
It certainly is. I'm just noticing in the InSim driver chat, Shuji Aratani pointing out that there were some under white line passes, so I'm not sure what race control are going to make of that one.
Interesting. We'll hear back from race control very, very soon around how that will all play out. We're also just waiting for confirmation on points from that round as well. But it looks like it is 77 to 44 in favour of UK and Ireland. It's reverse grid now, so if Japan win this heat, we'll have a third deciding heat. So not necessarily about getting the most points, just about winning the heat.
Yes, indeed. Of course, if it is sufficiently close, reminder to everyone out there, we will go for an extra heat to decide the winners of this round. So, we are joined once again by Bo Albert. Welcome back, Bo. Let's see what happens in race 2.
Thank you very much, Reese. Yeah, exactly. Race 2 should be pretty interesting. I caught the end of the race number 1 there, and well, I thought the play definitely did just as close as you would expect. Competition than we probably saw in the first round with the Lotuses. This has been a lot closer, and Japan definitely need to make up some ground, and I reckon they can because they were very strong in qualifying. I reckon they've got every chance of reeling this back in it, and we go.
Yes, indeed. So, Shuji Aratani leading the way here, and Fraser Williamson will be starting just behind him. So once again, the pace car will be coming in out of these last couple of turns. Sorry, Aratani holding them very still. The green flag flies and he's gone very late, and that's a bizarre start because I think the outside line was held way back. That's really strange.
I'll jump back in again, Reese, because Bo's microphone's having all sorts of issues, but that was strange from the outside line. I don't know what the intention of that was because it's really disadvantaged the whole of the team, like the whole of his team on the outside line there. So I don't know what the thinking was there, but we've got a few side by side, 3 wide coming into turn 3 back in the field.
Yes, indeed. Got to be careful, everybody, because we do have 14 minutes to go here. Fraser Williamson leading, and yeah, goodness me, quite a few drivers going in there. That's, who is that? Shuji Aratani, so Cornish, Challoner, Shimizu, and Walsh all going in.
Challoner trying to do the same 2 races in a row, and Fraser Williamson now leading the race. See what he can do from the front. We saw at the end of the race, 20 laps is not, well, it doesn't feel like a very long race, but with these extremely hot weather conditions, rear tyres are absolutely destroyed well and truly by the end of the 20 laps, especially when they're racing so intense as they are now. It's going to be tough for these guys to finish a 20-lap stint once again.
Yes, indeed. More drivers going into the pits. Usher, Pomfrey, and Fujisaki all going in. So these guys will be coming out together. So difficult to get these trucks stopped. David Grunnell and Jonathan Rex, meanwhile, lapping together. They're just slowly making their way up.
Yeah, just taking their time, moving their way forward through the field. I believe they started from the pit lane, so they are a little bit off the pace at the moment. I'm 100% sure on that. I think they started from the pit lane, so they are down the order a little bit, still have to make a pit stop.
Yep,
It's,
and everyone...
Starting to close up for the lead, though, as well. Is that we've got Usher very, very slow out of turn 2. He's going to be passed by, it looks like 2 trucks there.
Yeah, goodness me. Certainly not what he wants there. I'm noticing that in this particular race, everyone's going for very early pit stops.
Yeah, I think they saw what Challoner did in that first race and how much of an advantage he got just going straight into the pits while everyone was trying to get up to speed. It's actually a little bit surprising. I mean, there's no tyre stop, so it doesn't really matter too much. You just want to maintain your momentum. So pitting early is not a bad ploy. If you were doing a tyre stop, you probably wouldn't see anyone pit as early as they are. But with no tyres required, might as well jump in early and get it done.
Yeah, certainly. David Grunnell into the pits and Shogo Nishiguchi in there as well. So I think those were the last 2 drivers to enter the pits, unless I'm mistaken. Oh, big incident! Shimizu on the front stretch! Dave Walsh making contact with him! That is not gonna help anybody. And Shimizu, goodness me, not the best at all. We've gone to a quick replay here, Jay. What on earth happened? Looks like they just made side-by-side contact down the front straight.
I think they were just both going up into each other. We saw Walsh going a little bit higher and Shimizu coming down a little bit. And yeah, that's going to hurt both of those drivers. At the moment, they are both out of point-scoring positions. So we come back live. It's on for 3rd and 4th. Christian Challoner trying to get moves done.
Yes, indeed. He's currently up behind Shuji Aratani. And they are joined by Ian Cornish as well, who finished in 6th place in the first heat. So these 3 going at it very nicely.
Leaders are in the pit, so will we see these two cars on screen right now be our leaders after these pit stops are done? I'm going to say yes.
Oh, Williamson overshot.
Oh no, Williamson.
Oh, he's wasted so much time getting that going. He still isn't in there. He's too far to the right.
Now he's finally got it stopped, but he's technically done 2 pit stops. He's done it that poor of a job. Everyone else's pit lane time around about 25 seconds. Williamson still stopped, and it's going to be about a 50-60 second pit lane time for him. But here comes Challoner looking to get this move done to try and take the lead away.
Yes, indeed. So Shuji Aratani is your current race leader. What a shame for Williamson, though. That's completely destroyed his race. And one of the chances for UK&I to score some more points. Aratani going defensive down the front stretch. Just protecting that line. Have a look at this.
I don't think it's
Challoner. Yeah, but see, Challoner, if he goes too low, he's going to lose that momentum down there on the bottom. You see, it's happening right there. Aratani getting that momentum on the outside with this variable banking at Michigan.
The outside line is really key at Michigan. You don't realise how much the outside plays an advantage here at Michigan. And as the track starts to heat up a little bit more, we will see the 2 lines really start to form. But for now, it's that mid to outside line that you want to be on. And if you get stuck too low, driver on the outside will start to squeeze you even lower, which will absolutely compromise any run that you get.
Exactly right. And it looks like Challoner has realised that. He's not going for those inside moves. Have a look at the run that he's got this time. Oh, Aratani making slight contact with the wall. Very close here at nearly 300 kilometers an hour. Side by side now into turn 3.
You might have it this time. He's got the momentum up and he's through. He's got to watch out though for the cutback from Aratani, but he's not going to be able to get it done. Challoner now leads. What a drive from him. Started in 14th, finished in 3rd in the first race. Started in 14th, now into 1st.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That run from Challoner is Cornish now trying the move on Aratani, but just losing it a little on the inside. All that momentum lost.
Aratani's got turns 1 and 2 absolutely worked out, struggling a little bit on entry into 3. Just running a little bit wide on entry, which opened the door we saw for Challoner. Will we see him do the same with Cornish and potentially let him in? halfway through already, Reese. We haven't got much racing left to go, about 7 or 8 minutes of racing to go. And this is absolutely up in the air right now.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Currently, it looks like Japan has the most drivers in the top 10, but UK and Ireland are the ones in the higher points-paying positions. So it could be very close between these two clubs. Challenger starting to skip away there in the lead. And Aratani, currently Japan's highest placed driver in this race, still holding off those advances from Ian Cornish. The rest of the field looks fairly settled. Having said that, though, Dave Walsh and Shogo Nishiguchi are battling for 10th place right now, the final points-paying position. This could get spicy.
Definitely will get spicy. And also have a look, there we got the lap car of Stuart Pomfrey also trying to come through. It looks like he's pitted and actually taken tyres to try and get his way back through the field. So Pomfrey was involved in a little bit of contact in that incident we saw earlier. He's now trying to come on through. But Dave Walsh is starting to close up that gap, and just ahead as well, we've got some battles going on. But Cornish is still applying a lot of pressure right now. And this, I'm just working out some sums in my head, Reese, but I think that the points right now are so close that this actually could decide who gets through based on this position here. Second and third could decide it all.
Yeah, this is really quite big, this battle here for the final podium positions, and I get the feeling that Ian Cornish is just biding his time here. He's staying behind Aratani, but he's not pushing too hard. He's not going straight for those moves. He's just sitting behind, saving his tyres a little bit so that he can make a big move late in the race.
Dave Walsh looks like he's going to get through now. I was about to say, before this positional change happening right here, Walsh through. So that'll put UK, at the moment, it'll be 60 to 61 points as Walsh drops back. So 58 versus 63. Japan slightly ahead. That position, second and third, will put UK and Ireland ahead by 1 point.
Well, there we go. Yep, almost. But can Aratani maintain the momentum around the outside? I just noticed. Oh, goodness me. Cornish sliding again and again through turns 3 and 4, barely holding on to that truck. Now Aratani squeezing him as low as he possibly can.
We've seen how strong Aratani is on the outside through 1 and 2. But it's a little bit tougher for him this time because he's actually lost some momentum coming out of 3 and 4. He's had to give up the position. But yeah, he might come back here at 3. 3's where he's looked weakest though, so it's going to be tough ask for him. As it is right now, UK and Ireland win by 1 point. So this is where it has to happen. 61 to 60 based on my maths. Don't quote me on that. It's probably completely wrong, but it's very, very close.
Well, we'll definitely see by the end of it. This race has entered its final 5 minutes, about to enter its final 4. Now Aratani, I think he will be aware of the significance of this battle. He is Japan's best hope right now to take the win here.
Confirmed from the admins. Current standings as they are right now. UK and Ireland 61 points. Japan 60 points. This is crucial. Japan need to get 1 spot back, and this is the only battle pack that they have where they can steal a spot.
And you know what? The battle pack might get even spicier because look who is looming in the background of this one. Mark Usher. He could really put the cat amongst the pigeons here and interrupt this battle between Ian Cornish and Aratani.
What a fight this is too. This is great to watch. 4 laps remaining in this race, this 20-lap race. And Cornish, big slide.
Yep, he's going to go straight there to the middle of the road, and Aratani going by. This is the moment that Japan needs. This is what they need to take advantage of. Cornish has no choice but to just yield slightly, but have a look.
Coming back that outside line once again. Oh, who's going to take this? This is going to be close. 3 laps to go. 2 minutes of racing left. Oh, you couldn't ask for a better finish in this race. The format works so good for this. As it is right at this exact second, Japan win by 5 points. If Cornish can get through, UK and Ireland are through by 1 point.
Now it's gone back to UK and Ireland.
Wow.
This is crazy. I've never seen this before. This is fantastic.
Oh, Cornish, a little slide, but he's still got momentum. Aratani had to get out of the throttle to not make contact. But he's coming back through the mid-corner. The inside's starting to come to Aratani. But Cornish has got the advantage. 2 to go now.
And have a look at Mark Usher behind these guys.
4/10 quicker last lap.
Yeah,
Usher's
Ian Cornish. Yeah, Cornish will be in Usher's ear going, I need you right now. I need you to get rid of Aratani for me. Get in the way. Just put him back a position if you need to. We can secure this. Help me.
Dave Walsh also
me.
trying to get a move done too. This won't affect the result. If Aratani can get through, they will still stay ahead by a point. Aratani needs to get this spot. White flag about to come out. Aratani with the run coming out of 3 and 4. This is going to be an intense final lap. Who's going to take it? Will we go to a deciding race?
It's going to be super close here. So have a look. Ian Cornish going deep into turns 1 and 2. Aratani getting a bit of a run on the exit, but I don't know if he'll be able to get the run done through 3 and 4. UK and Ireland might have this.
Yep, UK and Ireland at the moment look like the South Challenger. What a drive from him. He's going to come home in the lead. We've had a change of position back in the field too, which this might not make any difference if Aratani can get through. It's going to hold on. And UK and Ireland, what a result. They're going to pick up the win. But what a fight that was at the end. Dave Walsh is through because Nishiguchi has actually lost out and dropped back to 12th position, which has put Dave Walsh up to 10th, and he might actually steal 9th right at the line, almost contact. Well, he thought about making the move up the inside and decided against it because he was below the white line. But what a race, what a battle. This is what the World Cup's all about, Reese.
That's exactly right, and very well fought by both Cornish and Aratani up the front. That was one of the best oval battles I've ever seen. The context just made it that much better.
So that's the end of that race. The results are 63 to 58 in favour of UK and Ireland. So UK and Ireland will go through to the Final Four next weekend. Challoner picks up the win from Cornish. Aratani, good drive from him, not quite able to hold on. Mark Usher in 4th, with Yamanaka in 5th, Nagani in 6th, Fujisaki in 7th, Agawa in 8th, Takamori in 9th, and Dave Walsh in 10th. Rex, Nishiguchi, Williamson, Pomfrey, Gurnell, and Samushi, the rest of the field, who did not pick up points in that race. But what a night of racing we've had, Reese. We're going to do it all again tomorrow, but our friends at RaceBot will have more of this later on tonight.
Yep, they certainly will. It's going to be a fantastic one. The World Cup of iRacing continuing on over this weekend, and we will be bringing you all of that here on the iRacing Esports Network. We hope that you enjoy the rounds coming up, and I guess we'll be seeing you all tomorrow.
Yep, our broadcast tomorrow will be 2 intense battles. Both the road and oval will be the same 2 clubs, the 4th and 5th seeded teams as well. So the 2 closest match teams in pre-qualifying last weekend, the Northwest Club of America and the Club Canada. The next broadcast for the iRacing World Cup will be in about 2 hours' time. Road racing, once again, road race number 3, UK and Ireland versus Italy, followed by Germany, Austria, and Switzerland versus the Oval 3 winner. Then it continues on. As we said, we'll be back at 11 and 12 tomorrow, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time race, and it's going to be good fun. You and I will be here for those.
We certainly will, and we hope that you all out there can join us for that as well. Thanks very much for watching. Congratulations to UK and Ireland for winning that bout, and to Finland for winning the earlier match between themselves and Japan in the Lotus 79 around Brands Hatch. This has been the World Cup of iRacing. We'll see you next time on the iRacing Esports Network.
is a presentation of the iRacing eSports Network.